So here I have, I've got the bearings locked into place now. They're nice and tight, they're not going to go anywhere. And this is at the top, this is the top of the gearbox. This little frame here I made for various things, and it's been adapted over the years. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to drop in our main shaft, then we're going to lay the lay shaft in, and then we're going to work out how the hell we're going to put that gear on. We might have to put the top cover on first, just temporarily, and press it all together. I don't know. But you'll see now, when we put this in here, how easy this goes in. Saying it's easy. There you go. See, that was easy, wasn't it? Now we're going to turn it this way so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Because now we have to get the lay shaft in. And I'm not sure if this lay shaft's going to go in. Oh well. Oh, that is just holding off there. There we go. Now that won't go in properly because this is covering the hose clip's covering the gear, but that's where we want it to be. If I let go of that hose clip, that's going to pull together and it's going to drop down even further. Am I happy with that? Oh yeah, it's dropped down even further down. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And don't forget to put the washer here when you're putting the bearing on. Don't forget this washer. Push the bearing on and that should all remain tight. How on earth am I going to push that gear on? So let me get this off. If it's you see, the thing is, I haven't got a book for this. I've got nothing at all. So that should nicely tie in together. If we get our main shaft now, and not forget our synchro ring, and not our main shaft, but our primary motion shaft, this should just go bingo like that. That was easy, wasn't it? Right, let's see if we can put the cover on. I've got the dowels in here. You see the dowels, they should be free moving. We'll drop the cover on and you'll perhaps see what I'm getting at. So which way around does it go? This is the top. Now when you put the cover on, because this might be the last time we actually do this. Well, we're going to take it apart again anyway. But I'm just going to put some oil on the shaft here so it goes in better. I'm a bit too close today, I don't know why. We'll put a bit of shaft on a little bit of oil on them bearings, just in case they don't want to go rusty. And let's drop this cover on. Like I said, it's only a temporary thing. And what we'll do now, we'll clinch it with some bolts here, and now you can perhaps see what my method of my madness was. Oh, maybe you can see here. That if I put the front nose on, might be a better idea, if I put this in the right way around, I've already put a seal in here, if I put a little spacer in there so that the bearing isn't in, I think that's how I'll do it. In here I'll put a little spacer so it's touching here in the middle, and then when we flip it round the other way around, then I'll be able to press the gear on. Aha! Aha! So let me put the bearing in for here. There, see, that's one that's locked down. Let me bolt these casings together here just with some rough bolts, and then we'll come back. With the bolts tightened up down here, I've just got 4 bolts in. Now we should be able to take off these bolts here, put a suitable spacer in there, tighten it into place, and then when we put it on the press we should be able to press those gears on. Because once the gears are on we can work around the rest of it. I'm sure we can. Well, we'll see when we've got it turned upside down. And there's my spacer. I'm not putting gaskets or sealer on this yet. And that should. If we now hold this tight, we should be able to press our bearing, our gear on, and then take it apart. Because that will keep that shaft nice and steady. That's good because that's locked up. That's what we want. And we're going to have a little bit. We're going to have a spacer in here. But let's lift it off and see what we've got. You need this shaft here stable. There's no washers, there's no shims in that, so we're not worried about that. But we need to push on this gear. Now, before we push that on, do we need to assemble all the rest? Mind you, it's no big deal, is it? Because if I push it on, we've got it started a little bit. We should be able to slip that gear over the top. Aha. This gear has to go on first because it won't get past this collar, this synchro. So it was a good call to try it first. Now, I'm going to somehow get this over to the press and press this lot on and see what we can make of it. Better get set up first. I was just about to press it on and I thought, wait a minute, I've made a mistake. So let me take off this cover, flip it upside down. Do I need to flip it upside down? No. I'll take off this cover because I need to put the reverse pin in first. So the problem is here, there's a pin somewhere here that has to go through here, if it will, with all the gears in for the reverse. So I've got to put the reverse in first. Oh well, that could be interesting. Let's move this. No doubt we put the spacer in. We look at the teeth for which way this gear goes. That seems to be a bit low. Anything else goes on there? I can't remember. There's a little bit of wear on these teeth here, so this is the way it goes. Slips in there like that. But we've got to get this lever installed and this slipper. Now that slipper goes on there. Will it go on that way? Looks like it'll go on either way. There's a little E-clip there and the pin that we salvaged. This goes through here and this goes through here and ties onto the pin. Whoever designed this must have been clever, very clever, because there isn't much room to work. How do we get that to go into there? Oh, I know. Take the gear out. Slide this out. Get this to go into the pin first. Like that. like that. Put your pin through. There. Now we can slip the gear on, put the slipper in its place, then we can put the pin in. And there's a little notch for the pin to go, and that is it. So now we put the little E-clip in, double check that's in. So I thought I'd take the camera off the stand and we'll have a look around this, because it's not very often that you see how everything's laid out on these LT77s. You must remember to put this, well, what do you call it, a crescent here, lined up with the top. Now if you probably noticed here, I've put the detent ball spring and screw back in. That's just to keep this shaft in place. Now what I've done to keep this shaft in is I've fitted a plate just under here, look, to keep the pin in. This is my old LT77 stuff, so you put a bolt in there and that will stop the pin dropping out. Now one of the things I was saying to you a while ago was that, let's get rid of that. How can we say that? Ah, there, you see. Now I was saying, if you put longer bolts in, it's going to probably there you can see the bolt there, look. There, if you put a longer bolt in, it's going to catch in the teeth here. But like I say, take note of that. The hair on that. What I've done is I'm going to go around and degrease this, and I'm going to use some black Hylosil instead of a gasket. I've cleaned off this face here. I'm going to put some oil on the shafts here and here, because really thinking about it, we've finished here, and then what we can do is bolt it all back together, put the washer on here with the cover, clinch this up and then flip it upside down and press the gear, this one here, on the bottom. Also make note that these pins should be nice and free, because if you're having to hammer them it's going to make life a little bit complicated, so just make sure that they're a nice push fit. A little bit of, what did I use? A little bit of emery cloth, fine emery, and maybe a Dremel just to take some paint if you've got some paint overspray. So let's degrease this once more and we'll put the cover on. Yeah, so what I've just done is I've just dropped the cover on. The next thing is we've got to fit this little piece here. This can be tricky. But not tricky for us. There we go. Now, I'm just looking at all this stuff down here. I'm going to take a washer, I'm going to put it on top of there, and we're going to put this on, but without a bearing at the moment. I'm going to put 4 bolts in the top of there. This will keep pressure on here when we push from this side. I think this is the way to do it. We shall find out. Right, you see there's a gap here. We won't worry about that for the moment, because... Alright, so what we're going to do now it's on the deck, we're going to push this gear on. Now take note that there's a little ring here. We're going to push that on. Now that shaft is tight. This one is loose because there's no shims in it. But this is tight, so when we push here, well, when we push these together, this isn't going to move. So, with a bit of luck, make sure you get it on right. Get my sleeve out of there. Get a little bit of a start. Make sure our press is set up. Let's go over there. Well, so far so good. The level here is level with the split pin. So I think what we'll do, we'll start to shim up the front, because we need to get access to this for the shimming. So we've got to take out our temporary thing. Or should we put this? I think what we'll do first of all, while it's here, we'll put this circlip in. Sure that's in the groove. Perfect. And let's put it back on our stand, and we'll put the old shims and the bearing and things back in just temporarily. I got these already. We're going to take our washer out of the top. Our bearing down. Now where's our other half of that bearing? There you go. Now the shims. 1, 2. We're going to clean the shims up. We're going to hold them in with a little bit of Vaseline into this cover here. Now I've already got the oil seal in. I'll put a bit of Vaseline on the oil seal, but I'll also hold in the shims with a bit of Vaseline too. Not much. Now, in theory, this should be tight. Now I haven't got shims for this particular job. I'm going to have to, if this is tight like I expect it's going to be, I'm going to have to go down to, after calculating, I'm going to take it down to JP's, and he's going to have to put them on a surface grinder for me.